everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. It's officially winning time in the NFL. In today's wildcard matchup, victory is the only option for these two teams. It's the Raiders going up against the Patriots.
Larry, we are about an hour's drive southwest of downtown Boston in the area known as Patriot Place, Gillette Stadium, here in Foxborough. Straight ahead, we pull the curtain on the postseason with an AFC wildcard matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the New England Patriots. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Carry for the shifty Dion Lewis. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Now Brady throwing on second down. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. Brady connecting with Cooks for the Patriot first down. Brady gives this one to Lewis. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
Again, it's Lewis. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
But when it comes to the running game, the New England Patriots, they're one of the few teams in the NFL that I don't think care much about balancing things out.
Last year, to your point, 5th in passing yardage, number 30 in the run game.
What they want to do each and every week is make a game plan based on their opponent, not so much their own personnel, and they try to attack that well.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Eddie Vanderdoes in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Tough spot for the Pats now after the sack as Brady will lead him up 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Brady. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. First carry now for Marshawn Lynch. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
On 2nd down, Lynch. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. They'll turn to the power game, and Olawale. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And Cook has it, left side. And he's able to get up here to the 26. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
They'll run it now out of the gun. Only a couple there. It's going to be brought down about the 28.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
So 2nd down was a run play. Now let's see what they do on 3rd. Play action. Now it's Carr. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a 1st down. A Raider 1st down as Carr finds Cooper. First down, the run with Lynch. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Carr. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. And that'll be incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So now at 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look, 6 DBs. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. We'll get a report when we return to Foxborough. And he gets it away, and it's a laser headed for the sidelines. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. And, you know, their previous possession, they were able to move the football, but still wound up punting in the end.
You know, in 2016, Carolina had a 20-play drive that lasted over 10 minutes. And remember how it ended?
In a punt.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? You just don't see that happen every day.
This one maybe not quite that bad, but still, you'd like to have a chance for points if you hold the football that long.
Agreed.
Now they'll run with Lewis. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers. There's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. So here we go, a 3rd down after the 2nd down pass completion. Here's Brady. He's letting it fly for Cooks. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley.
This is such a good read defensively. They know that this offense is going to try to get the ball to their playmaker in space. So what do? They crowd him and send bodies at him. And this one winds up being intercepted.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. And he will be brought down, but he's got the interception on the final play of this first quarter. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Patriots in possession to begin quarter number 2 as they'll take over with the ball 1st and 10. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Now Lewis. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Waiting to throw on 2nd down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. They run. This is Lewis. And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They try again with Lewis. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
They'll send Edelman in motion left. Throwing is Brady on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's a first down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a fourth down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, past the sticks, first down. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So he splits the uprights there, and I would imagine it's nice as a kicker. Right when it leaves your foot, you know it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a golfer that picks up his tee after a nice drive without even watching it land.
Solid analogy. I like it. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
They'll run again with Lynch. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. Leaves them with third and just a yard.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Sam Shields. And he will score. Touchdown, Patriots. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change directions. Hard to do.
And he puts it through. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now here come the Raiders. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Carr gives to Marshawn. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
They'll keep pounding here with Lynch. And he's got room. And he goes out of bounds inside the 10 at the 9. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run with Lynch. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back with more AFC playoff action after this timeout. Now they'll throw with Carr. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Carr now to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
They'll start things on first down with Dion Lewis. And he'll be taken down at the 18. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. In motion left here, Edelman. This is Lewis across the 30 to the 31-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
On 2nd down, here's Brady. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Khalil Mack from his outside linebacker spot. He comes up to drop him for a loss of 10. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Tough spot for the Pats now after the sack as Brady will lead them up 3rd and long. Working from the gun, it's Brady. He's going to go for a big play downfield. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4.
Well, he bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation. Instead, tried to get all back in one play.
Yeah, 3rd and long, thought he needed the deep pass, couldn't connect it.
Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give him the yardage they needed.
This will be fielded at the 17. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. So out come the Raiders. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. So we're at halftime. All right, we've got some happy trigger fingers ready to see who's going to survive this wild card game as we get you back to quarter 3. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Now Carr throwing on second down. He gets this one to Michael Crabtree. 23 yards on the play. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. That is caught inside the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Michael Crabtree, 29 yards. And the Raiders get a score closer. And it's 17-7. Out to kick is Janikowski. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here are the Patriots now. They get ready for their first possession of half number 2. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. See if they stay on the ground for second down. To throw, it's Brady. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down. Aldon Smith coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7. Tough spot for the Pats now after the sack as Brady will lead them up 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Brady. Looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. They'll try to get something going for Marshawn Lynch. And, oh, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down. to go with 2nd and 7. Shotgun now for Carr. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them. Got some room at the 30.
And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. 31 yards there and a first down.
Well, when you're able to break a run against a cover 2 or a 2-deep zone, safeties are back a little ways. What you're counting on is the guys taking care of business up front and then maybe climbing to the second level, that offensive lineman or tight end getting up to the second level and able to block the safety in order to create a big run.
And making those linemen work with a couple of blocks. They look good doing it there. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Call fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. You're exactly right.
To throw on 2nd down, Brady. And he's got Edelman for the first time. That's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. New England on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Brady going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he'll have his man. That's Edelman. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Brady to his old reliable Edelman, and the Patriots have a first down. Off the toss, Lewis. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34. And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
New England on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 8. They'll run it here. This is James White. And a pretty little juke move there, but not a ton to show for it afterwards as he's brought down. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. So on 4th down, Brady will yield to Gostkowski for the field goal try. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. And Gostkowski's kick is good. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. They'll run it now out of the gun. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard at the 29. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
On 3rd down, Carr. It finds Crabtree for the completion. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. A big 30-yard play on 3rd. Operating from the gun, Carr letting one fly deep for, and my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore, and he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it. But it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And ready now for 2nd and 9. Now a handoff looking right. And some space here. And he's brought down after a good gain. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. He's letting it fly for Cooks. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Now they try the right side here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. New England on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. They go play action for White. Now it's Brady. He's going to look deep down the field. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And now Oakland ready to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can. He's got a man complete. The 40, the 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A big play there. An even 90 yards. And the Raiders are back within a score.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting. But I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Out to kick is Janikowski. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Patriot offense now set to come back out onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also... And the Raiders have got him! Eddie Vanderdoes in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
On 3rd down, it's White. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. And they're not going to let him get this one off. We have a whistle and a timeout as they'll try to put him on ice a bit. And they still have 2 timeouts left. Here's Ryan Allen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. He's going to rifle one. That's caught at the 25. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Amari Cooper, 62 yards. And the Raiders are an extra point away from taking the lead. Janikowski on for the extra point. And they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. To kick is Janikowski. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So the Patriots coming out now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The offense certainly looking to score some points, but they also need ball security here late as we get down to the final moments of this one. It'll be a minimum pickup, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. Getting late in the fourth now, Charles. 2-minute warning just around the corner.
Yeah, some teams just want to get to that spot, take a breath, and then come out and attack for the rest of the game.
He'll look to throw. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on 2nd down. Again, they'll pound it with Lynch. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. Now we're going to get a timeout here called by the Patriots. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Now whistles blow, and the Patriots are going to take another timeout. That'll be their second, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. And they're going to go soft on the corners. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down. 10 yards is the pickup there, and that should just about put a bow on this one.
They picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Victory all but assured now as they take a knee here, and they're going to escape with a 1-point victory. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. They go down to a knee, and that will do it. They are moving on here in the playoffs. And a wild card win moves them on to the divisional round.
Everyone plays all year long for the right to get into the tournament, as they like to call it. Wild card, divisional, doesn't matter to them. One moves on, one goes home.
The Redskins are now on the clock. Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
He lowered the boom late in the college season, rushing for over 200 yards to capture the attention of draft experts, GMs, and even a number of outspoken owners. Sources tell me his history of running angry is what had so many people impressed. He's not one to run out of bounds or avoid contact. He's a pure downhill runner who has bad intentions every time he touches the ball. These traits bode well for him in the NFL.
All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
A veritable interception machine, he holds his college's single-game record for interceptions in a game, snagging 3. Scouts pointed to an almost sixth sense when the ball was in the air, and Matt Miller had him ranked as the top defensive back in the draft in his final mock. True lockdown defensive backs are few and far between, and this is a pick that should solidify this team's pass defense for years to come. It'll be very interesting to see if opposing offenses go right after him and how if he shows any rust after being avoided for much of his final year in college.
Bills have decided to go with Denard here.
When I ask scouts around the league what his biggest asset is, they always point to his father. His dad is a high school coach that knows how to consistently finish in the top of the school's division. And ever since he was able to walk, he's been on the sidelines for every game. Even after he leaves practice at night, he's still getting advice from his dad at home. And from what I've heard from scouts who've watched him play, you can tell the extra coaching has helped. Even during interviews at the Combine, I was told by several GMs that he was one of their favorite players to talk to. He has his dad's eye for the game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him become a coach one day himself. I like him a lot, and he'll be a great addition to the team.
The Packers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. So here as the Dolphins have just made their pick. Adam, tell us more about Greer.
He kicked off the offseason with one of the best all-star performances among defensive backs this year. How well did he play? As Matt Miller described, he simply took his matchup out of the play each and every time. The quarterbacks did their best avoiding him throughout the day, throwing to the other side of the field or the check down read. After he made such a big impression at the All-Star game, he backed up his play with a fantastic showing at the Combine and Pro Days. The team has to be grateful he was available at this point in the draft, and it didn't waste any time scooping him up.
Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
He's only been around the game of football for a few years, but when you look at his combine, you can see why he had so much success in college. This guy is pure athlete, and he looked faster than any of the other defensive linemen in the class. Matt Miller used his split times in the 40 and broad jump numbers to make the point that this kid has one of the fastest first steps of anyone in the class. He's the type of lineman that can get free from the block and be in the quarterback's face in an instant. He's a dynamic defensive lineman that can provide an immediate boost in production for this team's defense.
The London Black Knights are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. Bills just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
We've seen a trend in the past few years of teams preferring quicker defensive linemen, and he fits that mold. He wasn't talked about a lot until he ran one of the faster 40s and 3 cone drills among linemen. Matt Miller told me that if he can just develop a set of rush moves and a little more bulk, he can become a possible breakout player. With his natural speed and potential, he could become an interesting project at pass rusher for this team.
The Browns are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
He was one of the most dominant pass rushers in college football last year, getting everyone's attention after netting over 20 sacks and setting a new school record. He started seeing double teams at the line midway through the season, and that still didn't stop him from getting to the quarterback. Scouts all agree that he is a rare combination of strength and burst off the line that make him a threat on almost every play. He's a real difference maker for a defense, and he should be a starter for this defensive line in no time.
Let's go to Adam Schefter, who has more to say about the Diablos' spicy pick.
This quarterback has garnered the reputation as being one of the more consistent passers in all of college football this season. He had a string of games where he averaged over 300 yards and at least 2 touchdown passes a game. According to Matt Miller, the big takeaway from his hot streak was that he played against varying levels of competition. No matter if it was some of the weaker defenses in college or some of the toughest, he tore apart their secondaries. He always plays at a high level and never sinks down to the level of his competition. We'll see if he can remain so consistent once he's playing on Sundays.
The Bengals are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Seahawks have just made Houston their newest player.
Many draft experts speculated that the rigors of his college career were catching up with him and that his struggles were a result of playing through several nagging injuries and not an issue of talent drop-off. After some time off, he impressed with his raw numbers at the Combine, giving more than one GM confidence that his series of struggles was nothing to worry about. He'll likely be given the opportunity to challenge for the starting spot, making him someone to keep a close eye on throughout training camp and the preseason.
Well, wait, looks like both war rooms are feverishly back on the phones. I think that means a trade is coming.
The Browns are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
This is a player that many felt could be a solid role player in the NFL, but not a dominant force. That train of thought changed after one of the best defensive performances the college All-Star game has ever seen. At times, it seemed as if he were everywhere on the field during the game, disrupting both the run and pass game for the opposition. Several scouts I spoke with pointed to that performance as evidence he could dominate at a high level, and sources have told me that more than one general manager felt he was the type of defender you could build a franchise around. Now all that's left for him to prove is if the All-Star game was an aberration or a sign of things to come.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock.
This Jenkins guy, Adam, what do you know? He's a receiver that had a relatively quiet offseason, with the only major concern being his ability to go up for the ball. According to the Combine, he had one of the shorter verticals among wideouts at just over 35 feet. On top of the vertical, he also missed on several high passes by just a few inches in passing drills. Even though he may lose most jump ball battles, he brings enough to the table for the team to pick him up. We'll see on game day where his coach decides to line him up.
The London Black Knights are now on the clock.
Adam, tell us more about Thompson.
Things were looking pretty bleak early in the season when he suffered a non-displaced tibia fracture near the ankle. Immediately after the injury, he was in good spirits, vowing that it would not keep him from preparing for this year's draft. A fierce competitor on the field, but also in the weight room, he was able to aggressively rehab that leg and began running 2 weeks earlier than expected. Several sources told me this sense of commitment and spirit gives him that it factor, making it easy to overlook his injury. He's a story of perseverance and has all the tools to become a franchise quarterback.
The Browns are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who's got more to say about the Browns' latest pick.
His final season in school came to an end early when he was dismissed from the team after missing several practices. I wasn't able to find out why he couldn't attend the practices, but I do know that after his third absence, the coach finally decided to bench him. He was on his way to having a decent year, but without him participating in practice, the coaches thought he would be a liability in the game plan going forward. After apologizing to his former teammates, I can see why this team is taking a chance on him. He seems recommitted, but we'll see if that's true come training camp.
The Vikings are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The LA Aftershocks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The London Black Knights are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock. The LA Aftershocks are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
Matt Miller was glued to the ongoing soap opera that was his story this season. A feared pass rusher, he couldn't quite seem to play with the same intensity on a week-to-week basis. Some weeks he looked absolutely unstoppable, terrorizing opposing quarterbacks. Others he looked out of place, struggling to make any sort of impact, even taking himself out of the game multiple times in fits of frustration. Some GMs I spoke to felt that his lack of consistency was due to a lack of maturity, something that can be easily addressed by the right coaching staff. This pick could have tremendous upside or could end up as a what could have been story. It should be interesting to see how this saga plays out.
The Rams are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The LA Aftershocks are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The London Black Knights are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock. The LA Aftershocks are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The London Black Knights are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The LA Aftershocks are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
Rice the selection, Adam. What do you think?
The important